It was a night that PWI champion Bobo Brazil Jr. had waited on for a long time, a chance to finally meet the man, face to face, that had been attacking him across the country. He wanted to sign a championship match in the upcoming future. All the man had to do was come out and unmask himself. The first man to step forward, the manager of Shadow Ninja number 2, the Professor. He claimed it was the ninja behind the attacks, and he wanted the championship match signed right then and there. But Bobo reluctantly saying, "I'm not so sure it is he. It doesn't seem like his style." When the heartthrob comes to ringside, stating that it was him, not the ninja or the Professor that was behind the attacks, Bobo now faced with a dilemma. Heartthrob trying to convince Bobo Brazil that it is he that was behind it all. Bobo looking at the two, not sure quite who to believe. Winner one Dallas James, who says, "I can offer you proof, and I can show everyone that the Heartthrob and the Professor are trying to cash in on an opportunity. I will bring the men out here hired by the man, and we'll find out just who is behind these attacks." Two men quickly come to ringside, and Dallas asks the questions, were the Heartthrob or the Professor behind the hiring against Bobo Brazil Jr.? When the answers were said, those two were dismissed. Suddenly, Gentleman Johnny Walker appears at ringside, stating he wants a title opportunity to the PWI Championship that he never officially lost. Stating to Bobo, "Where's my opportunity at that championship?" The champion explaining to Johnny, "I will give you a title opportunity as soon as I can. You are a worthy opponent, but right now I've got to get at the business of hand of finding out who is responsible." An agreement was reached between the two. Board President Jeffrey Smith stating, "We're here to sign a contract. Who's responsible needs to come forward and sign this contract against Bobo Brazil Jr." Bobo Brazil Jr. claiming it's not Dallas James, stating, "You need to show me more proof." When Dallas looks at President Jeff Smith of the Board of Directors, stating, "I will in fact bring out the man responsible, but under one condition and one condition only. The champion must sign the match before we unmask." Bobo reluctantly agreeing, stating, however, that if he does not unmask, the contract will be voided. Dallas James producing yet another masked man, a man that no one had seen in the past, and Bobo Brazil Jr. and the masked man get down to business. The contract is signed by PWI champion Bobo Brazil, and then it's signed by this unknown masked man, now possibly the yet another member of the Four Aces. Dallas James taking the contract over to Board President Jeff Smith and then asking a question to get the champion's attention when from behind the masked assailant attacks, relentlessly pounding Bobo Brazil Jr., PWI heavyweight champion, to the mat, then taking him through the table in ringside. Dallas James watching on as this masked man with this vicious attack, looking at the crowd, stating, "This is the man. We've proven it once and for all." Bobo taking a merciless beating at the hands of this masked man, when to everyone's shock, when the mask comes off, it's none other than Gentleman Johnny Walker, the same man who had just agreed moments earlier to a title shot in a gentlemanly fashion. Was this a once proud athlete now turned bitter? Well, he was sending the champion a message. As wrestlers came to the aid of Bobo Brazil Jr., the fallen PWI champion, a very stunned Dallas James looked from the outside of the ring. Not because the most popular wrestler in PWI had been taken out, not because the heavyweight champion had been attacked by a man that once was Dallas James' bitter enemy, but because one of the men in the ring was someone he was very close to and someone he knew very well and had no absolute idea what he was doing there. Not the lightning rod, not Big Rig Rollins, but the man coming to the aid of Bobo Brazil. One of them was his own brother, Austin James. Why was Austin helping the fallen champion? Could it be because he had himself been injured recently? Well, no one really knows. Bobo Brazil Jr. sustaining rib injuries and neck injuries. How bad is the champion? Well, coming up later in the program, you'll hear from Bobo Brazil Jr., but it sets up for May the 6th, and Gentlemen Turn for the Gold, one of the most brutal, one of the most exciting, and one of the most stunning championship matches in the history of PWI.